What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today it is Viewer Builds episode 20, and the theme was camouflage guns. So I do this every week, again 20 weeks in a row, this is awesome, and yeah, I was really happy with the submissions we got. There are going to be a lot of great builds, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek at next week's theme. So it's right here, this one's going to be a little bit different. Next week's theme is loadouts. So basically an entire loadout that you would wear for whatever reason. It could be a shooting event, end of the world, zombie apocalypse, whatever you want. But I'm saying let's talk about your whole loadout. Now, so that this video doesn't become hours and hours long, you got to make it somewhat quick, right? So I'm going to describe this real fast. This would be my G-Code battle belt setup with G-Code mag pouches, a Safariland ALS holster. The handgun in here is a Shadow Systems MR918 with a Streamlight TLR1 and a Trijicon RMR if you want to post it. I'm thinking this is going to be better with just one picture, but if you can get two pictures that showcase it all good, that'd be great. But even this, if I took a picture of this, I would just leave the gun in here. So I'd put Shadow Systems MR918. But yeah, G-Code battle belt, G-Code mag pouches, Safariland ALS holster with a Shadow Systems MR918. And then I'm running a Haley Strategic Heavy Rig. This is the DC3RHX, but Haley Strategic Heavy Rig. And then I'm running a Scar 16 SBR with the Elcan, a Surefire Scout Light Turbo, Surefire Suppressor, and then a PEC 15 or an AT-PLC. So I wouldn't go into every little detail like with the vertical grip, the trigger, the sling, like you don't have to for this one. It's really just the bulk of what your loadout is, and that would be that. So when we're talking about the gun, I'm thinking gun, optic, main accessories, so suppressor, light, laser, vertical grips, minor stuff like that. Let's not talk about it in next week's video, but yeah. Loadout kit, it could be a chest rig, it could be a plate carrier, it could be just gun and belt if you only have the belt, right? So just whatever your kit is at the moment. If you want to throw your night vision in there, go for that as well. This is not my full kit, this is just what I threw out here. But yeah, I think it'd be a really cool video. And this is one that's going to get tricky because I still need it to be a horizontal picture. If you do vertical, it just doesn't show well, or I have to turn it sideways anyway. So get a horizontal picture of your kit, describe it as best you can. I think this could be really cool, so I'm hoping for some good submissions. If you've already submitted your gun before, that's fine. Just do your gun plus your kit, because obviously we're talking mainly about kit in this video, so yeah. But with that being said, let's get into the topic of this one. So go ahead and enjoy all these cool camouflage builds. All right, guys, starting off this week's viewer build video, we have Trenton here with his really cool rifle, and he says this is an MCR 556. It's a Canadian AR-18 variant, and that is pretty cool looking. I've never seen one of those. He has an M&P light on there. He doesn't know what the model is because it was discontinued. It's got mag pull rail skills and a vertical grip. It looks like the grip is a BCM. The optic is a Vortex Crossfire red dot with a Bushnell 4X magnifier. And he's thinking about switching the optic to a Primary Arms SLX 1-6 Nova. I've always heard good things about Primary Arms, but I don't have any experience with their scopes. He's got an A2 pistol grip with some hockey tape. It's got a Magpul CTR stock, and then the sling is from a VZ58. And his paint job on there is all Rust-Oleum. It's Camouflage Army Green, Camouflage Brown, and Flat Green plus the mesh netting. And I think that came out pretty good. It's too green for Arizona, but I'm sure in a greener state it's going to blend in better. But yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Trenton. It looks great. This next one comes from Edward, and it looks like we have an IWI Galil here. So I'm going to go through his list. From tip to butt, it's a Galil Ace Gen 2 chambered in 7.62x39. It's got a Surefire light, and he's not sure of the model. It's got Magpul iron sights, a Holosun AEMS red dot, also a Holosun magnifier. It's got a KNS adjustable gas piston. It's got a KNS plastic delete kit, allows you to remove the bulky polymer grip and magazine well from the rifle. This cleans up the lines of the gun quite a bit, allows the use of X-Tech style polymer mags, as well as drum magazines, and enables the user to utilize spurless AR-15 style pistol grips. Nice, I have the KNS one on my Galil as well. It's got a Galil ALG trigger. It's a single stage trigger, and it's got about a 3.5 pound pull weight. It's got a Savvy sniper sling, and then it was Cerakoted by Coated Arms here in Arizona. And yeah, that looks really cool, especially for the Arizona desert. So thank you for sharing that one, Edward. It looks great. All right, this next one comes from Conan, and it looks like he has a decent build list here, so I'm going to go through it. A lot of this stuff is CAK, as in K-A-K. I've always seen this, but I'm not familiar with it, so bear with me on that. So from tip to butt, it's got a CAK upper with their 3-prong flash hider and a 13.9-inch 5.56 barrel. Again, it's CAC as in KAK, not Knights Armament. It's got an Arasaka Surefire derivative with the offset M-lock mount, so like an Arasaka Light, that's a clone of a Surefire. It's got Magpul rail covers. It's got a Magpul vertical grip with about 3 inches cut off and sanded down. These next 3 items are also the CAC as in KAK. It's the 12-inch handguard with the upper, an extended latch charging handle, and a nitride bolt carrier group with standard options. We'll be upgrading to an NP3 with dual ejectors in sandcut soon. And then on the lower, it's a CAC lower with the Ambi Magpul bolt catch and bad lever. It's got a LaRue 2-stage trigger, a CAC standard lower parts kit, a generic brand extended mag release, a CAC standard buffer tube, a CAC H2 buffer with the flat wire spring. It's got a Magpul K2 Plus grip and a Magpul CTR stock. The optic is an Arkin EP8 with a HoloSun SCRS mounted on a custom piggyback offset. And then it's got a T-Rex arm sling. Nice. I like the camo job on there. Then he says it's mainly used for 2-gun shooting and some training work, but it's just becoming my go-to and it will always work rifle. Nice. And I'll have to look more into CAC. Again, I've heard of them and I see them pop up in these viewer builds, but I've just not looked into them like a lot. But that is probably the rifle with the most of that component. So again, it's CAC as in KAK. I don't know what it stands for, because normally CAC, like KAC, is Knights Armament Company. So I could see how those two could get mixed up. But yeah, again, I'm not familiar with these, so sorry I don't know more about it. But it looks really good, Conan, so thank you for sharing that one. This next one comes from Dreambow, and this started out as a PSA 8.5 300 blackout, but sold the upper and built one from scratch. So introducing my 11.5 build. Doesn't say if it was changed to 5.56 or not, but I'm going to go through the list here. So it's got an Otter Creek Labs Polonium K suppressor, a Revival Defense muzzle brake and suppressor mount, a Ballistic Advantage 11.5-inch barrel. I'm going to assume it's 5.56 now, but again, I could be wrong. It's got a suppurative adjustable gas block, an Arrow handguard, a BCM foregrip. It's on the Palmetto upper. It's got a Microbest bolt carrier group. The optic riser is a knockoff. It's got a SIG Romeo 5 red dot, a PSA lower with a mil-spec trigger, and it's got a B5 grip and stock with an H2 buffer. And then this one's got a Rust-Oleum rattle can paint job for Southern Arizona. Nice. Looks good too. And it looks like the only thing that I don't see is a sling, but maybe you got a sling for it too. But yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Dreambow. It looks great. Next up, we have one from Tyler here, and this is their main rifle. It's currently rocking a 14.5-inch pin and weld BCM upper on an Arrow lower. And I'm going to go through the build list. The muzzle device is a Sons of Liberty Nox flash hider. It's got a Surefire M640 dual fuel light with a standard Surefire tape switch and a 100 Concepts light cap. I've currently got the standard BCM M-lock rail covers along with the BCM CAG hand stop. The optic setup is a Trijicon ACOG TA31, which is a 4x32, and added their OEM flash kill. And then it's riding on a Unity fast mount, which allows them to mount an offset red dot, which is currently just a HoloSun. Nice. Again, it's an Arrow lower, but it's got a BCM gunfighter grip, a Magpul MOE slim stock, and then a Blue Force Gear Vickers sling in multicam arid. And then changes soon to come, waiting the arrival of a Wiseman Company Hot Pocket to replace the rail covers with something better for heat mitigation. Also waiting on a B5 Bravo stock, and then also planning on getting a Geisley SSAEX trigger this week. Nice. And I like your little mag pod too to hold it up. But yeah, that thing looks great, so thank you for sharing, Tyler. And if you guys want to check out Tyler's Instagram, it is it looks like 2 underscores, so semi__auto_medic.v2. So hopefully I said that right, but you guys can see it in the description too. Next up, we got our first bolt gun of the video, and this comes from Kelby, and I dig it. So it's a Remington 700 and 300 Win Mag, and from tip to butt, it's got a Silencerco Chimera suppressor, a Silencerco ASR muzzle brake. It's got a Magpul Hunter stock that was rattle canned, and that looks really cool on there. It's got an Atlas PSR bipod on a LaRue quick detach mount. It's got a Timney hit trigger set at an 8-ounce pull weight. And then the scope is an EOTech Voodoo 3.5 to 18 power, riding in a Warn Skyline precision mount with a Warn 20 MOA base. Then I would have painted the rifle to match, but I have a Bergara that will be going in the stock and painting that one to match at some point. Nice. I like the two-tone anyways. All the black with that camo job looks really good, but I know if you're trying to be like all, you know, hidden out in the wilderness, that would probably be better. At least from this picture, that paint job looks like factory. It looks good. So thank you for sharing that one, Kelby. I like it a lot. These next two come from Kyle, and I'm going to show you his 9mm first, and then you'll see his other one, which is pretty cool. So the first one is an H&R 635 SBR with a CGS Mod 9K suppressor. It's got a Streamlight ProTac mounted on a Dremeled Amazon barrel clamp. It's got a carry handle mounted Trijicon ACOG, the reflex sight though, so one of the older ones. And then a Lunartech Retromod A1 grip. And yeah, that thing looks great. Obviously it's in the grass, so if you guys can only see a suppressor and an optic, I don't blame you, but that looks sick, and I could definitely see that blending in. Yeah, thank you for sharing that one. And H&R is doing some really cool clone stuff. H&R is like another like brand of Palmetto, but I really like their stuff. Unless this is like really old school, I don't know. But I'm assuming it's one of the modern H&R builds. So thank you for sharing that one, Kyle. And then next up, I know you guys might only see a black optic, but what we have here is an AUG. So it's a Steyr AUG A3 with the 24-inch H-bar barrel. It's got a Manic Arms charging handle, an Elcan M145, and then a 40-round PMag. And I think those Elcans are meant for like saws or like 240s, something like that. But yeah, that thing looks sick on there. And are you gonna paint the Elcan to match it? Because that would really just bring it all together. But yeah, it looks like it's got a bipod. I mean, AUGs, there's not much to do to them. I've seen people deck them out, but that looks sick like that. Both of those paint jobs really came out good, Kyle, so thank you for sharing those. This next build comes from StovepipeTV, and they say Adams Mark 18 inspired build from StovepipeTV on YouTube. So go check them out. And I'm gonna go through the list here. It's got a B5 Bravo stock, an Ed Sherman sling, an Amazon sling keeper, a B5 P22 grip, a Palmetto State Armory lower. It's got a Franklin Armory binary trigger, K&S anti-walk trigger pins, Palmetto State Armory upper, a Strike Industries charging handle with an extended latch, a Monstrum rear flip-up sight, a Monstrum optic riser. It's got an EOTech EXPS 2-0. That looks like an XPS to me. The EXPSs are quick detach, so from what I can tell, that's not quick detach. That looks like an XPS to me. It's got a Bear Creek Arsenal 10.5-inch 5.56 barrel, a Superlative Arms gas block, a Midwest Industries 10-inch quad rail, a Fortis shift grip, an Amazon light, an eBay dual pressure switch, a Somo Gearpec 15, and then an AB A10 suppressor with the rugged universal mount. Nice. I like your paint job on there too, so thank you for sharing that one, Stovepipe. Next up, we have another bolt gun, and this comes from TacDriver. It's a Remington 700 built by Mark at Spartan Precision. I am not familiar with the company at all, but that thing looks badass, and that looks perfect for Arizona. That is definitely my color scheme. So, blast N to ass N. That is perfect. I've never heard of that. All right, guys, instead of from tip to butt, it is from blast N to ass N. We got a Dead Air Sandman S suppressor. It's got a Dead Air Chemo muzzle brake, a Bartline M24 contour barrel, chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor with a 1 and 8.5 twist, Cerakoted in FDE. I've never heard of that. So normally it's like 1 and 8, but this says 1 and 8.5. That's interesting. But yeah, Cerakoted in FDE. It's a Remington 700 Action Trude, blueprinted and Cerakoted in FDE. It's got a Pacific Tool Engaged recoil lug, a Pacific Tool Engaged spiral fluted bolt, a Leopold scope base, a Macmillan A5 stock, and a Desert Gap camo. It's a Timney Elite 2-pound flat trigger, a Badger Ordnance M5 DBM with trigger guard mag release. I am not sure what the Badger Ordnance thing is. Is that like a magwell? I'm not sure on that, but I assume I'm zoomed into the right part. It's got a Magpul bipod in FDE. It's got a Leopold Mark 6 3 to 18 by 44 with the Horus reticle on an American Defense Manufacturing mount. And yeah, that is a badass bolt gun. And again, this one is in 6.5 Creedmoor. So thank you for sharing that one, TacDriver. Guys, looks like we got a pretty cool pistol here for this next one. I don't even know who this is from. I'm just gonna put their name here. That's supposed to say Nucci. Sorry, but yeah, they got a long build list here, so I'm going to go through it. This is their Spikes Tactical / Geisley 7.5-inch URGI PDW build, chambered in 5.56 and Cerakoted in the M81 Woodland Camo. Nice. It looks great just from that. So again, big build list. It's got a Surefire Warden, a Surefire muzzle brake, a Ballistic Advantage 7.5-inch Hansen barrel with a 1-in-7 twist. It's got a rifle speed adjustable gas block, a Zero Bravo Company hand stop, a Geisley 7-inch Mark 14 handguard. The cutout was done by me. It's got a black Magpul rail ladder, a Ravivon GL4 Pro 4-in-1 lamb. I'm not familiar with that brand, but that should be the laser on top. It's got a Surefire M300 Mini Scout Light, an Arisaka light mount, Magpul Embus Pro backup iron sights, a Unity Tactical Fast Riser in OD Green. It's got an EOTech EXPS 2-0, a Spikes Tactical Upper with the full ambidextrous lower belt receiver. It's got a Spikes Tactical Bolt Carrier Group, a BCM BCG Upgrade Ejector Kit / O-ring and spring. It's got a Geisley Supercharging Handle, an SB Tactical HB PDW brace, so like the Honey Badger brace there. It's got a Sprinko Red Extra Power Carbine Buffer Spring Cut. It's got a Maxim Defense H2 buffer, a custom-made brace strap, a dye-free company pistol grip in FDE will replace with a black dye-free company pistol grip. It's got a Foztech Echo trigger, a Spikes Tactical Lower Parts Kit, a PDQ ambidextrous bolt catch and release cutout done by me, an Arms Unlimited ambidextrous mag release, an HRT magwell, a Magpul trigger guard, anti-rotation pins, and I chose this caliber because it's very viable, and I'm a big believer in this platform due to the barrel being able to utilize 2 calibers without barrel swap and low cost of ammunition. It's got a CMMG 22LR kit. The suppressor I plan on getting is the Yankee Hill Fat Cat utilizing the B&T Titanium Surefire Universal Hub Mount. I also have the Magpul MS4 sling, but plan on getting an M81 Woodland sling. And then any recommendations for slings, and yeah, that is a sick build. And for a sling for that, I would look and see if Blue Force Gear does like a Woodland sling. They do a lot of different camos. I haven't looked into Woodland stuff too much, but yeah, that thing looks sick, so thank you for sharing that one. Alright, this next one comes from Raymond, and I'm going to go through his list here. It's got a 3-prong flash hider. It says LBE Unlimited Retro AT3 Tactical, so I think that's who makes it. It's got an M-Lock handguard from Primary Arms, Daniel Defense front and rear fixed iron sights, Tough Soul Blue Laser Light combo, a Magpul arm sling converted to a 2-point sling, a Unity Vertical Mini Gangster Grip, an Anderson Arms upper and lower receiver, SIG Romeo MSR red dot. It's got Omega red ambidextrous safety selector switch, a Tactical Solutions Group US Army ambidextrous charging handle, a Sylvan folding stock adapter, a CAC as in KAK Shockwave 2M pistol blade, and then paint scheme used was Magpul FDE spray paint from Amazon, brown and tan camouflage spray paint by Rust-Oleum, and then using laundry bag for pattern. Nice. And I think it came out pretty great, so thank you for sharing that one, Raymond. Alright, we are on the last build of the day, and this comes from Noah, and I'm going to go through his list here. So it's got a Strike Industries 4-prong, currently have a Silencer Omega 300 and ATF jail. It's got an 18-inch Ballistic Advantage SPR Profile 5.56 1-in-7 twist barrel. It's got a Suppletive Arms adjustable gas block, Daniel Defense rifle length gas tube, a Sons of Liberty 13-inch M-Lock rail, a Magpul M-Lock bipod, a BCM vertical grip, Magpul MS1 sling, a Vortex 4-16 first focal plane mill dot, a 100 Concept Scope Cap Pro, and then a T-Rex Arms offset red dot and Primary Arms SLX T1 clone. He put in parentheses can't see, and I can't see it, so it's got an Arrow upper, a Toolcraft bolt carrier group, a 17 Designs lower, a Phase 5 bad lever / bolt catch, a Schmidt 2-stage trigger, a BCM ambi safety, a Magpul MOE K2 Plus grip, a Daniel Defense buffer tube, a Sprinko blue spring, an H1 buffer, and a Magpul CTR stock. Nice. Yeah, that looks good. From this picture, it's kind of hard to see it up close, but it all does blend in together well. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Noah, and thank you to everyone that participated this week. We got a lot of great builds. Thank you guys again to everyone that submitted. Those were all great, and I got a lot of inspiration from those. I need to paint a gun at some point. I've never painted a gun. This came from the factory painted, but I do really want to paint a gun at some point. I just have that like hard, like internal mindset of like, oh, you can't paint it. It's a lot of money, but I will do it at some point, and I'll probably do a video on it. So yeah, thank you guys again. And if you want to participate in next week's video, again, it's going to be loadout. So your belt setup, your chest rig, your plate carrier, your night vision, your gun, whatever. Just whatever you would carry in any type of scenario. It could be shooting competition for fun, or end of the world stuff. So yeah, describe your loadout, and then again, horizontal picture, please, and send it to sales@atruxco.com. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of all we got for you today. But again, I'm looking forward to these kits, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are wanting to see what you got. So clear pictures, please. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for that video.